and welcome to Help My Daughter Loves Horses. I'm Allie, this feisty guy here is Noah, and we're here to help you enjoy horses in a fun, safe way. And what I wanted to talk about today were my 4 basic fundamentals for riding. So what are the 4 kind of ideas that you need to get in order to ride well and safely? So the first one for me is responsibility. And there are 2 parts to responsibility. One is that you're in control. And the second is that you can never make a horse do something, but you're still responsible for what happens in the end. And because of those 2 things, it's very important that you pay attention to what you do, so that you think about the outcomes of your actions, and you think about how am I going to be able to ask a horse in such a way that he'll do what I say. Because think about it, this is 1,200 pounds of muscle, and still fairly wild. They might seem domesticated, but they've got a lot of those same instincts that kept them alive in the wild for all those years. And so you're never going to be able to force a horse to do anything. He's going to decide that he agrees and he wants to do what you've asked him. So that's something to always keep in mind. You have to act like you're in control, because at the end of the day, you really are responsible for anything that might happen. But you have to make sure that you're gentle enough and kind enough, but also forceful enough and determined enough that your horse will behave and listen to you. So the second thing that I want to talk about is balance. And balance is very important for riding. So as responsibility is important for anything you ever do with a horse, balance is very important for riding. And that's because if you aren't balanced when you sit on a horse, you're going to spend all your time trying to catch yourself. You might give a horse an aid or a command that you didn't mean to because you've lost your balance. So that's a very vital thing. As soon as you start riding, that's the first thing you should start working on, is balance. So getting comfortable in the saddle, feeling like you're not going to just fall off because you don't know where your center of gravity is on the horse. And second to that is my 3rd fundamental, which is independence. So once you've gotten your balance and you can stay steady on a horse, and when he moves forward or when he stops, you don't lose your balance, you don't fall forward, you don't fall backwards. You want to have independence in all parts of your body. So you want to be able to use your leg independent of your knee, independent of your hip, independent of your hands, and then be able to put all of those pieces together in order to give any combination of commands or aids that you might need to for a horse. So an example of this is when you want to ask a horse to go from trot to canter. So that's one command. I want you to go from trot to canter, but it requires your hands to be steady. They can't pull on him because that will tell him to go from a trot to a walk. And then you have to think about your inside leg staying down on the girth. Your outside leg comes back. You're squeezing with your calves, but not with your knees or your heels. Your inside hip comes up, but your body stays centered in the saddle. Your shoulders don't fall forward or back, and you're looking the direction you want to go. That's a ton of stuff to think about. And all of those things have to happen both at the same time, but not influenced by the other. So if I put my outside leg back, it can't make me tip to the inside. Then my leg isn't independent from my body. So independence of all of your different aids is vital to being able to tell a horse exactly what you need. And that feeds back to being responsible. So the last part, my 4th fundamental, is adaptability. And I say that because horses, like I said, are only really barely domesticated. They're not pets like a dog or a cat. And anything can happen. And it might not even be the horse's fault. It might be something else out in the big wide world that happens. And you've got to be able to respond to whatever happens, not knowing what it might be. You can't plan for everything. So you've got to be able to adapt in that moment to whatever happens. And it's also, horses get moods. So Noah might be in a great mood one day and just doing really well, and then something might happen that gets him really annoyed or angry, and then I've got to deal with him in that instant. And then when he starts behaving again, I have to let go of any misbehavior, anything he might have done wrong, and be with him in the moment of being good. So I can't hold grudges. Horses don't get grudges. If I'm mad at him for something he did 10 minutes ago, I might be punishing him when he's actually doing something right. So you need to make sure that you're with your horse in that instant, and whatever he's doing in that instant, that's what you're responding to. So those are kind of my 4 fundamentals, what I think is most important about dealing with horses. So hope that helps, and I wish you many safe rides.
Thanks for watching this video. Help My Daughter Loves Horses. Check out our website for more.